We are here today with Jeff Clayton, who is the Executive Director of the American Bail Coalition, a not-for-profit organization committed to developing the most effective means for pre-trial release of criminal defendants. What does that mean, Jeff, and good morning?
Well, good morning. Really, it means that we believe in the right to bail and people's access to a bail bondsman, and they can get out of jail efficiently, and the releases are accountable, meaning if they fail to show up for court, there's somebody looking for them that's going to go arrest them and bring them back to court.
Okay, well, that sounds to me like you are a proponent of bail. You like the idea of people having bail.
We do. I mean, we think it's an important, obviously it's a fundamental constitutional right, but it's an important part of the criminal justice system, we think. And what most people don't realize is that less than a majority of even felony cases have to post bail. But we think we're an important part of the system.
All right. Well, I also think you're an important part of the system. And so right now in Missouri, we've got some legal precedents from the Supreme Court that is saying to our local law enforcement officers not to arrest people, but to let them go on their own reconnaissance. What's that all about?
Well, there's really two big changes that have happened. One, it's harder for the police to get an arrest warrant because they have to put up some evidence that the person's either going to be a danger to the community or not show up for court. Otherwise, they just have to give them a ticket. So that's one thing, that a lot of the people aren't going to get arrested in the first place. And then the second component to that is that prosecutors have to put on evidence and make a showing in court that somebody's a flight risk or danger, rather than under the old system, a judge would just look at the case and decide what the appropriate bail is. So they've made it a lot harder for judges and police officers to stop people from either getting tickets or getting released on their own recognizance.
Okay, so that's the situation we're currently in. So is there anybody challenging that situation?
Absolutely, and I'm in the state capitol building right now. I just stepped out of a meeting to talk to you. We're talking to legislators today. In fact, there's a hearing at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Representative Justin Hill has a bill to repeal the bail reform changes that were enacted last year.
All right. Well, what kind of support do you think that bill is having right now?
Well, we're hearing that a lot of law enforcement groups are in favor of it, and so we think it's got pretty broad support, and I think everybody knows there's something wrong with what the Supreme Court rules have done and that we need changes. And the question is, should we repeal the whole shooting match or should we try to fix it, is really the issue right now.
All right. And what is your desired result of this House bill?
Well, we support it. We think it's time to push the reset button. I think people have gone around with the assumption that we're just too weak on criminal defendants. And my experience traveling around Missouri, most people feel that in many cases we're too lenient. And so we need to pull some data and figure out what's going on in Missouri and do a comprehensive bail reform process, we think.
All right. Well, can you let us know who is in favor of this, or is that something that's going to happen afterwards?
Yeah, it'll happen this evening. Groups will come and testify either in favor of repealing the rules and going back to the old system, or some groups will, support the new system. And so we'll see who's on what side this afternoon.
And what about our elected officials? When will we know what side they're on? And what should we do in the meantime?
Well, you should certainly call your elected officials and demand that they repeal the bail reform law. We'll find out probably in about a week or so. They'll have the hearing today, and then the first vote will come probably at some time next week. This process is going to play itself out, however, probably through the end of the session, which will be the first part of May. So it'll be a work in progress till then, and certainly folks should get involved and call their legislators.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time on that, and good luck. And once again, we agree that there needs to be arrest for people and instead of just tickets.
Exactly.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care.